Hi, everyone. If you're tuning in, I'm going to give people a couple minutes just to join in. So we'll start in 2 minutes. Hi, everyone. If you're tuning in, I'm going to give people a couple minutes just to join in. So we'll start in 2 minutes. Hi, everyone. If you're tuning in, I'm going to give Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining in and for connecting with us tonight. We're going to be talking about getting started with LinkedIn and Indeed. And on tonight's session, I'm going to walk through a little bit for beginners and a little bit to talk for people that are already using LinkedIn and Indeed, and maybe some power ways that they can take advantage of them. You can, if you're on Facebook, you can definitely pop in your comments out there. Let me know that you're out there, and I will try to answer them as best I can while I'm talking. If not, if you have questions, there's definitely time I'll have for questions at the end. If you do pop them out there, that will be, I'll try to weave them in as I can. So tonight, first thing we're going to talk about is LinkedIn. And LinkedIn, if you're not familiar with it, it's a professional social network that allows you to connect with people that you know personally and professionally, and look for potential job opportunities, connections where you might be able to work together in some scenarios. If you have a business or are selling a product, or you're looking to develop a product, it's maybe you can find someone on there to work with, someone that provides a service that you use, or also someone that is a potential employer or recruiter. LinkedIn is basically has 500 million users, and there's 250 million active users. They have interfaces for job seekers, so people that are out there going to get a job, as well as people that are looking to sell product, and also recruiters. And powerful thing about LinkedIn is it's a social network, so it's very similar to Facebook. So if you're familiar with Facebook, they have a newsfeed capability, they have groups capabilities and private messaging, and it's definitely a place that if you are looking for a job that you want to be. I know the reason why we're doing this session tonight, I know a lot of people have been affected by COVID-19 and layoffs, as well as like furloughs, and they may be looking for opportunities out there. So LinkedIn is a great place to get your name out there, and to connect with people you know, so that you can basically try to bring opportunities to light faster. They also COVID-19 and layoffs, as well as like furloughs, they also have, and they may be looking for opportunities out there. So LinkedIn is a great place to get your name out there, as well as and apply for jobs, to connect with people you know, so that you can basically try to bring opportunities to light faster. They also COVID-19 and layoffs, as well as like furloughs, and they may be looking for opportunities opportunities out there. So LinkedIn is a great place to get your name out there, as well as to connect with people you know, so that you can basically try to bring opportunities to light faster. They also COVID-19 and layoffs, as well as like furloughs, and they may be looking for opportunities out there. So LinkedIn is a great place to get your name out there, as well as to connect with people you know, so that you can basically try to bring opportunities to light faster. They also COVID-19 and layoffs, as well as like furloughs, and they may be looking for opportunities out there. So LinkedIn is a great place to get your name out there, as well as to connect with people you know, so that you can basically try to bring opportunities to light faster. They also COVID-19 and layoffs, as well as like furloughs, and there's also looking for opportunities out there. So LinkedIn is a great place to get your name out there, as well as to connect with people you know, so that basically try to bring opportunities to light faster. And also COVID-19 and layoffs, as well as like furloughs, and there's also looking for opportunities out there. So LinkedIn is a great place to get your name out there, as well as to connect with people you know, so that basically try to bring opportunities to light faster. And also COVID-19 and layoffs, as well as like furloughs, and there's also opportunities out there. So LinkedIn is a great place to get your name out there, as well as to connect with people you know, so that basically try to bring opportunities to light faster. Please let me know how you guys are having there's the about that talks about who you are. And then there's featured things. You could feature different works that you have, maybe different presentations, and then as well as background, your work information, like where you've worked before, what education information you have, as well as certifications, your volunteer experience and skills. And also you can put in accomplishments, things that you've done, like publications. If you're a writer, it's a great way to get information out there. Information about your patents, if you have patents, if you're like an engineer, projects, any kind of honors that you might have, scores, and from tests that you might take. So if you use lynda.com was purchased by Indeed, and you can actually take scores that you have from tests and things like that and apply it there. Languages and organizations you can associate yourself with. So if you're part of a professional organization or a chamber of commerce, you can put that information out there. Any additional information, they also have a section for, and a really important part, which is request a recommendation. Something else that I wanted to highlight for you, if you're in a trade like a HVAC, or if you're a plumber or electrician, under that certifications area, you could talk about some of the different certifications you have. If you're computer background or HR or food services, great opportunity to talk about the different certifications that you might hold that another person doesn't hold. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to dive right into LinkedIn, and I'm going to show you how to set up a LinkedIn profile really quickly here. Now I'm logged in as myself, but I'm going to open another window and I'm going to log in into LinkedIn. And this is what you see the first time you go to LinkedIn. Now, if you haven't signed up, you'll say join now. If you have signed up, you'll sign in. But I'm going to click join now, and I'm going to use hello at yondocreative.com, and I'm going to create a password, and I'm going to agree and join, and I'm going to put a continue, not a robot. Sometimes because you're using incognito, which is a way to get rid of cookies, you'll get some of these prompts. So it will ask you for your location. You can go in and type in a location and it will find it. You hit next. You give it a recent job title. So I'm gonna pick a. I'm just gonna say some job title that it could be a, I could say owner, and then I could say recent company. I'll put Anthony's company. And so you could also say you're a student. They want you to pick an industry, so I'll pick accounting. Some people will find that really funny. And then I'm going to click continue. And then they're going to want to confirm my email. So on my other screen, I'm going to look for an email, and it has a PIN number that I'm going to get. You're going to enter that PIN number, and then that's going to get you in to basically what they're trying to do is they're trying to connect you with your email to make sure that they can send you alerts and updates. If you don't have a good connection there, you're gonna probably have a problem when you're doing job searches and things like that. You could start a search right here, but we're gonna say skip right now, and I'm just gonna give you a quick tour around the interface. So if I go to the main page when I get started here, I am going to see a couple things. I can provide more information. They'll try to connect me with people that I might know based on information that they have about me, as well as give me the ability to create an alert for jobs. Now, both LinkedIn and Indeed, if you think about them, if you take all of what they do down and you get it to one simple thing, they're both search engines, right? And they're both social networks in some way. So when you provide information to LinkedIn and Indeed, they're going to use that information to inform their process and try to use the data to make the results you get better, as well as the results recruiters that are searching their networks make those better. So if you think about what search engines love, they love content, right? So when you start a profile like this, your profile is really empty. When you look at it, there's really nothing here. I just told them that I own a company and that's it. So when you think about it, there's a ton of sections within Indeed and LinkedIn. So like in here, I'm going to click on intro, and I can add a profile photo. And if I just click this, it's going to allow me to. It's going to say I can use the camera. I can upload a photo. And so you could just upload a photo and put it on there. Square photos are best. So 500 by 500, 1000 by 1000. You can just create a photo, take it with your phone, and try to, whenever you take a photo for LinkedIn, you want to try to make it look professional. It shouldn't be something that you're hanging out with your friends. It could be outside. It could be fun. It could be about your personality and help show that, because that's going to separate you from other people. But you definitely you don't want it to be silly. You do want to keep it professional, because this is a professional network. This is not Indeed this is not I was going to say a more fun thing like Instagram or something like that, where people are expecting you to be silly. Here they're expecting you to be a little more serious but show your personality. So so these different sections that you have the ability to kind of fill this profile out and let people know more about you. So I would start with adding a photo. Up here on the top, you can add this background photo. You can do that, or you don't need to do it. If you're from a certain city, you might be able to add it, or to show some of that, or if there's a certain interest you have, or maybe you're speaking at a conference, maybe you were involved in something, charity or volunteer work. Great way to kind of pop that information out there. You can add contact information. So there's contact information that you have in here, but if you click this pencil icon, you can add a phone number, you can add instant messenger information, your birthday, you can make your birthday visible. And then you'll actually get a profile link too. So you'll be able to use that to share and get that information out to, folks that you might want to share your LinkedIn information with. Also, you'll see a lot of people put a LinkedIn link on their resume. So it gives recruiters another way to kind of learn more about you and go beyond what you just put in a resume. So the things that I would recommend you do is to step through these different areas. When you start filling things out, like your summary and your skills and when you think about it, like your background, right? Your work experience. When you go to fill out your work experience, they give you a ton of fields to fill out. Now, day one, you probably aren't going to fill all these out, but like I would start small, come up with good titles. Make sure you say like what type of employment, if it's full-time or part-time. Make sure you put the locations in. When you put locations in, that helps LinkedIn know where you've worked, where you live. That information can help them target jobs to you. That information can help recruiters find you, as well as like your whatever experience you have. So like I put owner at the company. Like I want to tell, in my profile, I want to talk about what company I have. Think about the keywords of the the different jobs that you might have worked. So if I work as a butcher, I might want to talk about the safe certifications that I've done. Excuse me. Different certifications that I've done that recruiters might be searching for. Or if I've worked in computers and I've gotten certain certifications, I might want to mention those things. Any accomplishments, like if you worked with certain technology, or if you worked with, if you think about like if you have certain experience, you can put that there. A good way that I like to create these is I like to look at not resumes, like when I'm writing a resume, as well as like writing these, I like to look at job posts and what employers are looking for a candidate for a specific job, because you'll see the language that they use. And when you see the language that they use in the job post, that lets you know what they're searching for. So it really helps you kind of get an idea of like what they could be looking for, in a person. So the other thing you can do is you can add, if you have presentations or documents or photos or sites that you want to connect, you can upload those or link them here. It's a great way to get found, because people that are searching for maybe something you put in a document, you might have a really cool slideshow or something that you've done, a presentation that you've done that helped other people. Maybe it was something in the community. Maybe it was something to teach someone something as part of a class. It's definitely a great way to get your info out there. And then also you can say like, do you want to share this with your network or not? If you're full-time employed and you're making changes and you're saying that you want to look for a job, probably not the best thing to turn on, because everyone in your network is like, hey, now Anthony's out there looking for a job. So you don't want to do that. But if you're looking for a job, that's a great thing to do, because anyone in your network is informed that you're looking for a job. Okay, so I'm going to walk you through, these are the other areas, like, I just want to talk through some of them. So we talked about education, your work experience, and education is more like every school, any school you went to. Great opportunity. Like you could put any school that you've gone to, if you've gone for like a certification classes, if you've gone for certificates, it's something that you can highlight here. As what, and the good part about connecting your education information and schools is now people know that you're an alum of that school. And there are certain recruiters and certain people that are out there that are hiring that look at their alma mater to try to find out if they want to hire someone. And as candidates, not like that they're only going to hire from there, but they may say like, hey, I want to start looking for someone that came from a certain school, and they might put that resume information out there, and someone might see it, and because you're an alum, you might get a notification or a message from someone that knows you and knows you're looking. So something to keep in mind about connecting your education information. Any volunteer experience is great to highlight. That can differentiate you from other people. Skills, you can add, I think, up to 50 skills out here. And when you do that, you can just go out and search, and I could say WordPress, and I can add it. And I can say accounting, because I'm great at accounting, right? Or Genesis framework or so, whatever you do and whatever skills you have, you can add them here, and they become part of your profile. So when I add them, you'll start to see that information out there, and you'll start to see, as you add more and more things, that this comes over here, and it tells you the strength of your profile. So like as you step through these, it will say add a profile photo. That's going to increase it. Which university or school did you attend? That's going to increase the score. Add 5 skills to show what you're great at, right? Add a summary to show your expertise. So there are things that you can highlight here, and that's going to increase your score. When you think about your score, don't think of it as like if your score is high, you're going to get shown, but like the reality is people are going to have more opportunities to find you. So the more you kind of put out here, the more opportunities they get to find you. So this will help you through your different sections. Additional information. This is one of the most important things that I would say you can do here on LinkedIn. You could, as you connect with different people, so I can go out and I can find someone, like I'm going to go out and I'm going to search for my brother. And hopefully I come across might be under Joseph. And when I go out and search for people, I'm going to come across a person, and depending on what they how their profile is configured, you can connect with them, or you can message that person to try to do a connection. And on LinkedIn, they don't like you to be spammy and like messaging thousands of people or connecting with thousands of people in a really short amount of time. But you could go visit people's profile, and one of the cool things is when you go visit a profile, other people see that you visited the profile. Like they'll be able to see the last couple of people that visited the profile. So you can you could say I want to connect with Joe, and if I say I want to connect with Joe, it will say LinkedIn members will accept invitations with personal notes. So you can add a personal note, and you can say like, hey, why don't you connect with me? We are in class together, or whatever it is. Or you can just send the invitation. So it will let you connect with that person, and you'll start building your network. And now people that are connected to Joe, they have an opportunity to see my information. If Joe likes it or Joe shares it, it helps just continue to expand my network. So things on LinkedIn that you can do, definitely share information out there, and as well as look to connect with other people. There's also a way to, and I'm not going to do it because it's going to upload all my connection information, but there's a way for you could say grow your network. And when you go here, you could say contacts, and when you say contacts, you can actually connect your contacts with your with that, I think your Outlook account or your Gmail account, and that's going to help you. It basically tells LinkedIn all the people that you've transacted emails with in a time period, and it helps them identify people so that you could build your network faster. So it's something that if you want to do that, that's an opportunity for you to basically get more contacts and grow your network. The bigger your network is, the more chance that people have to see you, the better information you put out, the more chance people are going to see you. The other thing is like very much like Facebook, you could create a post here. The posts are things that get pushed out, and your network gets to see them. So you could post just text content. You could add an image. You can add a video. And you can also, I think this is like if you want to upload something from the cloud, you can totally do that. So that's another way through LinkedIn that you could do that. A lot of people, you'll see them post different articles and journals and things that are going on in their life or accomplishments. Great stuff to put out here. If you don't have the time to sit there at 8 o'clock every morning and post something, or think every day of something to do, you could use a tool like Hootsuite. And I believe they still have, they may have a free edition. I don't know if they still do free. There was back in the day a free limited plan, right? Free for one user, 3 profiles, 30 scheduled messages. If you sign up for this, you can actually connect your LinkedIn profile and you can schedule the posts that you want to push out on LinkedIn, up to 30 messages that are scheduled. So it's great because you can essentially schedule out your entire, like an entire month of posts if you wanted to, and it looks like you're sitting there at certain times and you're publishing them. So great way to kind of get information out there. It lets you time box and spend some time finding the things you want to talk about and getting it out there. But also kind of helps you kind of show that you're active. So that's something that you could definitely take advantage of. My network, when you click on this tab up here, this shows you all the people that you're connected with or all the people that you have pending invitations. So this guy, I think he invited me to connect, Kevin. So I can accept him or I can ignore him. If I know him, want to accept him. If you start getting spammy messages, you can say ignore, and then you can say I don't know this person, and it lets LinkedIn know like that person's not someone that should be reaching out to you. If you scroll down here, you also see different pages you can follow. These pages that are out there, are great because it helps you, come in contact with maybe, like if you are a veteran, you could come in contact with maybe, people that are posting jobs and they're looking for veterans to help fill those roles or hire military. So if you have served the country, there's tons of different pages out there. There's tons of groups out there that you can get connected with. Definitely something to take advantage of and to get your name out there. Also, there's people that they call influencers. They have tons and tons of followers, like Tony Robbins and Mark Cuban and things like that. You could follow them and you could, see some of the things that they're doing. They don't let you connect with them. Also you could follow different hashtags. So if someone uses a hashtag, you could be informed about it. And these are different groups that you might be interested in based on what they know about you today. So the more that they know, the better these suggestions are going to get. Then there's a tab up here at the top called jobs. So jobs, this is exactly what it is. So if I wanted to find, I'm gonna search for web developer jobs, and I'm gonna say I'm in Morrisville. So if I wanted to find web developer jobs, these are different jobs that are out there. And like I said, when you look at the different employers that are out here, they're going to show you, they're going to give you job descriptions. So when you are creating your profiles, if you are a web developer, if you are a accountant or office manager, whatever your role is, like go out there, look and see what they're saying for these responsibilities. Like this is what they're looking for when you think about it like this. So if you've done these things, like they're probably searching for technical walkthroughs. They're probably looking for someone that talks about design docs, diagrams, things like that are in there, SDLC, agile, so they're all things that they might be looking for. 8 years experience, right? Like, so they're the different things that they look for. Now, this information, some job boards and some recruiting systems will actually pull in your LinkedIn information, which is good. But when you apply for a job, one of the things that recruiters do is they set up something on their system for the job called like knockout criteria, and they may have questions that are knockout questions, or they may have criteria that they're using based on the resume and based on the information you put in the resume. They might say, I'm looking for someone that has experience with SDLC or has experience with finance or something like that. And what the job they call the applicant tracking system, what that applicant tracking system does is it looks at the content and it helps the recruiter know if that person that applied, if they actually are potentially a good fit. So it helps take the 600 or 1,000 resumes that these recruiters are getting, and it helps them whittle down to really a small finite amount of folks. So it is hard because in some of these instances you're competing with 600 people for a potential job. So having a good network, working that network, looking at the opportunities you have with personal connections and friends of friends that may help you get a foot in the door at a company, that's something that you should definitely take advantage of. The other thing too is like when you go out here, you can look at companies, right? So we're looking here and we're just looking at jobs, and there's like messaging and stuff like that. But like when you go back to Indeed, LinkedIn. I'm sorry. I got Indeed on the brain because we're going there next. If you were looking for a specific company, so say that you were looking for Independence Blue Cross, right? So if you went out there and you wanted to see, you could see what Independence Blue Cross is posting. You could see what different jobs they're posting. If they're running ads, you could see those ads, right? And when you're looking at this, you could also see the different people. So when you're seeing the jobs, you may have an opportunity to connect with some of those recruiters, or you may see something like Linda S, right? Linda is someone that works here, and she has a shared connection. She's connected with Joe. So if I was going to apply to a job and Linda was the hiring manager for that job, I'd probably reach out to Joe and I would say, hey, I'm really interested in this job, and could you connect me with this person? And maybe that's going to give me an opportunity to get an interview or get an opportunity to have a conversation. And if the job that you apply for isn't the right job, then it may still give you some consideration, because now they've actually put your who you are to your resume, and they've also had someone that's internal that works for them vouch for you, essentially. There's a ton of different things that you can configure under here from like settings and privacy perspective. I would definitely explore this, like what you want public, what you don't want public. These are all different like toggle switches you can turn on and off. This is your customized URL. I always tell people to go here and to make this their own. So if my name was John Smith, I would do John-Smith, and when I go to it'll be linkedin.com/in/John Smith. Now, if there's probably already a John Smith, and if I save that, it's going to tell me like that's probably not going to work. So you could use like if you have a middle name or a middle initial, you could do things like that, or you don't even need to use a dash. You could kind of run it all together. If it's John A. Smith, you could do something like that. But it's really good because it kind of lets you brand that custom URL a little. So from a LinkedIn perspective, I'm going to jump back real quick to the presentation, and I'm going to give you just some tips. So LinkedIn wants you to fill out as much as possible in your profile. I realize you have to do it in waves. It will be tough to do it all in one sitting. Use good keywords in your profile. If you're not sure, look at some of the job postings out there for specific positions you're looking for. If you're targeting a company, go and check them out on LinkedIn. Go check them out on Indeed. See what they're posting in their jobs, and really get smart about what they're looking for, because that's going to help you figure out how to tune your message and what how you present yourself and face out to make yourself attractive to those employers. I always tell people, like, pick the top 3 employers. Like, if you could work for those top 3 employers tomorrow, who would they be? Think about them, and then go and look at what they're looking for, and tune your LinkedIn and Indeed profiles towards that. You could get involved in groups really and talk about that a lot, but I'm just going to jump back here. I'll show you. There's definitely an area here called groups on the right-hand side. There's also these other things here: find leads, advertise, things like that. And LinkedIn also owns SlideShare, so if you have slides and things like that, you can pop those out there. You could create a group, or you could discover groups. If you have a great example, like if you're part of a training class, or if you're part of your alumni or something, and they don't have a group out here on LinkedIn, you could create one, and it gives you a way to connect with different folks. These are all the various groups out here. When you go up, you can search groups. So if I wanted to say, I was interested in accounting, and I wanted to say see all the results for accounting. So I could say see results for accounting. And when I do that, it gives me everything. But I could say I want to look at groups that are accounting groups, and I could go out here and I could say, oh, I'm interested in accounting and audit, and I could join that group, and then it may help me professionally to learn more about accounting and audit and get smarter about it, as well as find opportunities in accounting and audit. Down here, like you'll see, they have different groups for jobs and job seekers. You can join these, and people will post out different jobs. Or you might say, hey, I'm looking for an opportunity as an accountant. Maybe you went to school for accounting, but you haven't taken a job out of school for accounting. Maybe you're doing something else, and you want to shift into that. This is definitely a way that you can get your name out there, connect with other people, and you have more conversations about it. So let me jump back here. So we want you to get involved with groups. Like groups are gonna help you get out there and get your name out there. The other thing is, make sure you're connecting with people, personally and professionally. Your friends. If you have a larger circle of friends that are your friends of friends, you guys hang out, great people to contact, because it's just expanding your network, especially if you're on good terms with all these people. Like, you should definitely stay connected with them. The people that you went to school with. I have people connected from high school. I have people connected from grade school. People I went to college for my master's program. All those people are connected within my LinkedIn, and I can reach out to them. They can reach out to me, and we can talk about if they need some help. Maybe it's something I can help them with, or maybe I can answer a question for them. It's definitely a way to make yourself available out there. The other thing is engage with others. Give a little bit of yourself. I think it's something Gary Vaynerchuk says. You can't expect that you're just going to go knocking on someone's door and say, give me a job, and they're going to be like, I was waiting for you to come and ask me for a job. There's things that you can do to give a little bit of yourself. If you have a certain expertise or skill or something that you can help others with, you can share that. And whether it's you know how to do something, whether it's something that you've done in the community, like you want to pass that, kind of pay it forward. So think about that when you're developing posts that you might want to put out there, and as well as things you post in groups, things you share, things on SlideShare. Like you might be great with, like, craft beer. Like, that's cool, and there's a ton of people that are interested in that, and that might be your hobby, and you could share that. And just having that, maybe something that when you go into a interview with someone, that they saw your LinkedIn and it helped them connect with who you are as a person, and not just a resume and the fact that you're there for looking for a job, and that they have 30 other people that they need to interview for that same job. So it's like how you differentiate yourself. Share your ideas and thoughts. I think, kind of similar to give a little bit of yourself. You want to get that information out there. You want people to know that you have really good ideas, and that you would be valuable for their organization. And you can apply for job opportunities. The job opportunities that are out there, like LinkedIn as well as Indeed, they both offer I would say like a one-click apply, that you could do. So if you went out on some of these, you'll see something that says in easy apply. That means you can click this and it will send your profile link to that recruiter, and you don't really need to fill out anything else. There's some of these different job boards that you'll see when you go to different companies. They'll make you fill out maybe like 10 different pages of all your information. So the idea is it's tough. Like you need to work the law of averages, right? Like you have to apply at, to apply a lot to get noticed out there, because there's a ton of people competing against you. So easy apply is definitely good, as well as like if like this person, Marcus Goldman, like that, they're saying it's a consultant, but like if I went in and I'm just looking to see if I found like one that may be connected to someone. Sometimes they show the recruiter too, sometimes they don't. And for the reason that people go out and they try to connect with the recruiter. Sometimes recruiters are open to that too. But the idea is if you do find the recruiter and you click on their page and you're like, okay, now I see that they're connected to someone I know. It's a great opportunity for you to talk to that person and be like, hey, I saw this post by Marcia, and is she a really cool person? Like, I saw she posted this job. I wonder if what she's looking for. And that friend may send a note to Marcia and say how great you are, and pass on your resume, and then maybe that puts you to the top of the pile. So something just to think about, like other strategies for how you can get noticed by a recruiter. Obviously, you don't want to pull those favors all the time. Like really try to find the opportunities that make the most sense for you. And, if you can leverage those opportunities, do that. And so from LinkedIn, that's what I have for you on LinkedIn. The other thing that I'm going to say in terms of Indeed and LinkedIn, which is a little off of both of these topics, if you wanted to see from a keyword perspective, what different keywords are being used out there, because Google, think about it, like Google is also searching and surfacing jobs. So you could go out here to Google Trends and you could search for a specific term, and you can look for other terms that might be used. So if I was looking for web developer and I'm looking for like an occupation or search term, it's going to show me in here the interest over time. It's going to say, like, you can have different searches like web search, image search, interest by different region. You could see like related topics. So these are different related things that people are searching for. This is on Google, but think about it. Like if people are starting on Google with this, it's another opportunity for you to leverage. Also, especially if you guys have been impacted by COVID and layoffs and things like that, there's a professional network that's out there called Upwork, and Upwork is lets you take something that you do. Like say you're an awesome writer, or you're a graphic designer, or you're a sales and marketing person, and you need to find work, but no one's hiring right now full time. Maybe they're hiring part time, or maybe not hiring at all. It lets you take what you do and put it out there so that other people that may have companies but they can't hire a full time person, and they want a contract or a consultant for a couple hours, it lets them go and hire someone. So you could go in and say, I want to get started, I want to set up a profile, and you can basically bid on different opportunities out there. So you might post, someone might say like, hey, I'm looking for someone to write a write a book for me, or I'm looking for someone to write social media posts for me, and you could bid on that and say, I'll do that, and this is how much I want per hour to do it. So it's a way to get to get out there, start getting work, sometimes on an hourly basis, sometimes on a project basis, and it's definitely really good. It's very popular network that's out there. So I'm just throwing that out as a bonus. And like I said, Google Trends really good just to get some more information on like keywords and things like that. All right, so now we're going to talk Indeed real quick. So Indeed, we'll talk through the setup, we'll talk through resume creation, searching, and then maybe some tips around Indeed. So I'm just going to go over to Indeed. Now, Indeed is they've really made this site simple. So you could start off by saying, I want to upload a resume, right? Like they'll say upload your resume, and then they'll try to get you to upload it. Now, I would say if we do hello, and then I give it a password, and I'm not a robot, and then create an account. Now, when you log in, the first thing they're going to do is they're going to ask you, if you want to upload a resume or build a new resume. I always tell people build a new resume. Like when you upload your resume, they do a really decent job of converting the information over, but you're going to spend so much time trying to find the errors and the mistakes that it's going to drive you nuts. The other thing, when you build a resume, you could copy and paste from your existing resume to build it, but it gives you more control over the content that you're going to be putting out there, as well as helps you tease out maybe other fields that you might not have seen if you just uploaded the resume. One question that we got was, I've been working for New York companies for 15 years, and LinkedIn always delivers NYC positions on searches. Is there anything that I can do to change it to make it more local Philly jobs? There is, yeah. And I'll go back to that if that's okay, and I'll cover that. When you're in the job setting, you can actually say like the geography, like where you want to find jobs, so we can talk through that. To build a new resume, and when I go through to build a new resume, they're going to ask me to confirm my email, so I have to go do that again. Now, like I said, that's so that they are connected with you, and then you'll get an email that kind of looks like this, and you just say confirm your Indeed account. You click that blue button, and I'm just clicking it, but I just wanted to show you what it looked like. And it says my email address is confirmed. So now if I refresh this page, now it's going to ask me, you'll see like it wants to know my location too, right? So like it's gathering information about me from the second that I start on this page. So I'm just going to put A Smith. I'm going to put Morrisville, PA. Now, are you authorized to work in the U.S.? Do you need sponsorship? Like that's information you want to put there. And then you could put your phone number. It's optional. Basically you can subscribe to get like text messages and things like that. You don't need to do that. As well as when you put your phone number in there, I think it gives you the ability to like share that with recruiters. So another option for them to be able to contact you. In here, like it's going to ask you to build out your education. So like if you think about this, like once you learn this widget of like education here, you'll be able to continue to add education. So you could also say like I don't want to add education at this time, and you hit next, and when you go next, it's going to let you skip through, and then you'll be able to really look at the whole resume. For the school, if it was LaSalle, like I went to LaSalle University, you just start searching and it's going to give you type ahead. You'll be able to pick LaSalle University, and then when you do it that way, it makes sure that like the name of the university is in the format that might be out there. So like we said, Villanova University or whatever other university you may have gone to, or high school you've gone to, or whatnot. If you do it that way, it helps people that use that same university when they're searching or things like that. It helps them find you easier because it's using a consistent format. Field of study, if you were like computer science, this is kind of free form, so you can kind of write if you're computer science or like master's in computer science, you can say that information there. Like level of education is going to let you know if it's like a master's or bachelor's or high school. Or you could say, I think you can say custom, and it lets you say like GED or apprenticeship or things like that as well. So you can add that there. And then the city and state, like I said, think about geography, like we are just talking about, like the more information you give, right? So like if I did this and it was Philadelphia, I want to say Philadelphia. And then you could give your, from and to dates. You don't have to do that, but you can do that. I'm just going to say bachelor's, and I'm going to say save. Now, like you'll see, like I can add more education, right? So once I've done one of these, it's kind of rinse and repeat. I can do exactly the same thing, and I can keep moving through it, and it let me build out the education. So I'm just going to go to the next step. These are the different jobs. Very similar interface, right? Like so, what job, what was your title? So if I said web developer, right, I can pick web developer out of here. Company, if I worked for, I'm trying to think of a good company that's out there, like Pep Boys, right? Pep Boys, right? They're local. I start typing it and I can connect with the company. This is a good way that, if someone, say a competitor of Pep Boys or someone that is looking for people that are like the employees that work at Pep Boys, maybe they have specific competency, it helps them connect with you. Same thing, city, you want to put that in there. Description, here you can pretty much lift like the accomplishments, the bullet points from your resume or the description that you would put with a job. Again, use keywords in here. These are the ways that, someone that's out there and they're saying, I'm looking for someone that's a writer, someone that has written for newsletters, written for magazines, or does email marketing. Like, great way to get that information out there. So this, it has like a little editor that lets you do bullet points or ordered lists or unordered lists. So you can definitely add that information in there. And like I said, I would look at companies that are of your interest, as well as job positions and the job postings, to help inform like what you put in there as well. Obviously don't copy, directly, but like I would copy it into a Word document. I would look at how they're writing it across, several different posts and positions and different companies that your targets, and use that to kind of build your story, tell who you are. All right, so I've added my companies. Now you can add different skills. So like you can select some of the skills they may pull from your resume. So you saw I took web development. So now they started surfacing all this stuff here. But if I'm a writer and I said writing skills, written communication, written correspondence, or if I said email marketing, that's information that you can put on there. So I'm just going to pick a couple of these. If I click these up here, it just automatically adds it below. And then I'm going to click next. And then now I have my resume. It's ready to go. So like this is the filled out resume. If I need to add additional things, I can add additional education here with the plus. I can add additional work experience here. I can add a headline summary. So I could say, business owner, looking for, whatever it is, like executive opportunities or something like that. Up here, you can manage your summary, your headline, your postal code, right? So one of the questions before was about your jobs and things like that. Like if you're living in a certain area and your zip code, you can update that. If you're if you move, like you probably want to update this. Also, if you're willing to relocate, you probably want to mention that. And like I said, your phone number, you could put that in here. And so like this is your base resume. I would, like I said, with LinkedIn, you want to give it as much information as you can. The more information you give it, the more opportunity people have to find you. You can also add these other sections here. So awards and like publications. If you have military service, it's something great to highlight. If you're associated with any kind of groups, whether it's a chamber of commerce or something like that, that's something you can get out there. If you're, part of a Lions group or something, any type of volunteering services, great to get out there. If you have a website, that's something to put out there as well. A couple other things that I just want to mention. When you're searching for jobs, one thing that you may find recruiters doing is they go out and they search you, and they go out on Google. So one thing that I would recommend doing is going out on Google and searching for your name and seeing what comes back, because you may have your Facebook profile open fully, and you may be sharing jokes and things like that with your friends, and that stuff could be publicly available. There's ways to lock that down, and I'm not going to cover that today. So if it's something you want to learn about, you can definitely drop a note in the comments, or you can ping me, and I'll be glad to walk through that with you and explain it. But I would start, as you're getting ready to do this, I would start looking at locking down some of that so that only your friends see the information and not everything is public. Like you want to be selective with what goes public, because Google starts to read that information and it becomes out, it goes out there and anyone can find it. And you might not want everyone to see, what you say with your friends, maybe do, but it's a representation of you, and you want to keep the door open the entire time. You don't want someone to see something and end up closing the door on you. So now you have your resume, and you can download it as a PDF if you want, and you could say it's public or you could say it's private. So like if it's public, good. Now anyone can see it that's out there, recruiter wise, will be able to see it. But like, not if your sister went out there and she wanted to go and see, she's not going to be able to search for you unless she has a recruiting account. So you say save and continue, and now you can start talking about your desired job title. So if I said I want to be a web developer, and I'm looking for full time, and I'm looking for a certain salary, or I'm looking to relocate, I can put that information in here, as well as like if I have certain links that I might want to highlight, and you could say, are you willing to undergo a background check? Sure. You know, Also, you may see that they do some certain surveys, like how much were you making? Did you get any bonuses and things? You don't have to fill it in. Some people do. So now it's like they may ask you for additional things here for to try to make your profile more complete, and you'll see this bar going across here. So that's your profile. Now your profile's out there, it's public, and if you wanted to share your link, here's like a link to your resume. You could copy that, you could send it to folks, and they'll be able to see that they'll be able to see your resume. If you're looking for jobs out here, you could go in and you could search and you could say web developer, and you start to search there. And so this is going to show you all the different companies that are within a 25-mile radius that are looking for a web developer. And right now they're only showing remote positions because of COVID. But you could start filtering them by salary. You could say like, I want to make a certain amount an hour, or I'm looking for full-time positions, or I'm looking for ones that are, someone that knows Angular, or that they are looking for someone with a bachelor's degree. And more specifically, the locations, like I'm looking for someone in Pennington. Like I want to work in Pennington, or like I think we were talking about, like I want to work in the Philly area. You could pick Philadelphia, and it's going to limit these jobs down to Philadelphia area. Now, you'll see a pop-up like this, and they'll say, be the first to see web developer jobs in Morrisville. You can activate this, and they'll actually start sending you jobs in this area that meet your criteria. So you could also start looking at companies. Like if you were looking to target a specific company, you could say, oh, I want to work for American Heritage. And when you do that, you'll see the you'll see their post, and like Navy, right? If I click on Navy here, you'll see also they have apply with your Indeed resume. So once you get the Indeed resume together, you can click apply now, and that will let you apply to that job. And it's like a one-click apply. It's really quick. You could save the job, so you could kind of go back and see jobs that you might have had looked at before. The other thing you can do is search things with certain words. So maybe there's certain skills or things that you like to do. Great way to get, to find different opportunities. Or if you're looking for things from a certain company, you might say, I'm looking for something from a specific company, or show jobs from only job boards or employer websites. You could exclude staffing agencies, or you can keep staffing agencies in there. And then like this will give you the geographic, within 25 miles of a certain area, or a job that was published within the last, 7 days or 15 days. You have to think about it. Like once a job's published, they're starting to get a ton of, applicants, and you need to kind of be out there and aware of the different opportunities, that are out there. So now, so this is essentially how you get through there, and this will let you, like I said, activate. Like they'll put this job alert on the side. You'll be able to activate that job alert. If you have recruiters, they can send you messages. So we got a message inbox. You'll be able to do that here, and this lets you get back to your resumes, your jobs, your email preferences, your search preferences. So if you have a search preference, like how many jobs you want to come back, if it's in a specific language, all that information is available here. And then your account information. If you need to change your password, close your account. It's always good to have your account. Like even if you're not looking, it's good to have your account out there, because sometimes people are just looking, and it gives you the chance to come across different opportunities. So also I'm gonna jump back just to give you some more tips on Indeed here. So for Indeed, like I said, use good keywords in your resume. Want to make it applicable to the job that you have. You want to make sure that people think about the recruiter that's searching for it. Think about what they post for the job position, and try to make sure those keywords are in there, because it really it helps you. It helps kind of align you with what they're looking for. Update your information regularly. Like when you look at Indeed, one of the really cool things that I've noticed was, if you go and update your resume, it kind of puts you to the top of the pile for recruiters. Recruiters that are out there and they're going to search, they're getting candidates returned to them, and content like resumes, profiles that are fresh and new and have new information, a lot of times get seen first. So they kind of incent you to keep your content fresh, to be keyword rich and things like that. So if you could do those things, that really helps you. Apply to get your name out there. Like the idea is you want to start having your phone ring. You want to start talking to people. You want to let them know you're out there and looking for an opportunity. And you wanted to see the value in who you are, and you do that by starting to talk to people, starting to connect with them. When you connect with recruiters, and when you have phone screens, or you have Zoom calls, and you're doing these different sessions, it's a great opportunity to connect with them. You can connect with them on LinkedIn. You can send them a thank you note. That's still in style. After you have an interview, send a thank you to them, thank you email, thank you card. A lot of people aren't sending cards. It's a different way to differentiate yourself. Because it shows you took the time to actually do that. An email, you might have something canned that's easy to kind of turn around. Card kind of separates you from some of the other folks that are out there. Don't forget to work your professional network and social network. Like, just because you're doing LinkedIn and Indeed doesn't mean you can't let people know that you're out there and you want to connect. You could drop your LinkedIn profile link out on Facebook and say, hey, if anyone's on LinkedIn, connect with me, because that's your friend, that all your friends that are on Facebook. So it helps you build your personal network. And if you're looking for a specific opportunity, you could say, hey, I'm looking for a job doing X. My profile's out there. If you know anyone that I can connect with, let me know. I'm really looking to try to build my network and get out there. So really, lean on your friends to like help you do that, because they've been there and done that, as well as they have other connections that you might not know of, because they have different professional connections that you might not be in that same circle. Couple other resources that I have in here, like I mentioned, resume samples. This is really cool, because if you haven't written a resume in a while, it's probably like a little scary because you don't know where to start. Indeed actually has samples that are out there that you can start with. They have a little video too that you can watch, but you can go out here and you can look at like specific types of resumes. Like I said, maybe it's like food services or something like that. They'll give you all different types of jobs, and when you go in there, they'll show you what a resume looks like for someone that's a cook, and you'll be able to see different. They'll have different ones that are out here that you could check out that give you different ideas for things you could say, how to say them, things you might want to include, on your resume. And they also have really good resources for like cover letters, interviewing, and things like that. I may do a separate video to help people in terms of interview prep, as well as um, understanding the applicant tracking systems a little better. So I'm gonna try to hit some of the questions that we have here. I know we're right around 8 o'clock, so I want to try to keep my promise to keep it to an hour, or close to it as I can. So one of the questions that we had was, I've been working for New York companies for 15 years, and LinkedIn always delivers me New York area positions in search. Is there a setting that I can change to pull more local Philly jobs? Yes, absolutely. So let's go back to LinkedIn. And now, when you go to search jobs at the top here, when you actually search a job, you can go in and you can search and add the city state. So if I was looking for a specific job, say it was marketing manager, and I wanted it in Philadelphia, I could do that. So that's one way to do it. The other thing is, you may have alerts that you have configured that are out there that they may be configured for New York because you did them in New York and your initial searches were in New York. So sometimes up here on the top, like if I created a job alert, and actually I'm going to see if I can do that real quick so I can just show you. So if I said like web developer Morrisville, right? And you could turn a job alert on. And I could say, I want to receive these daily and get email notifications. I hit save. Now I have a job alert saved. If I go back when I'm on the job screen, I can see job alerts. Now I see that I have a job alert here. If I go in and I edit this, I could change the frequency, but it doesn't look like they let you change where it's from. So you could actually kill this search. You could do the search again and change it to Philadelphia, right? So if I kill this and say delete it, and I knew it was for a web developer, I could go web developer, and I'm just going to pick another. I'll pick another area. So if I said Ambler, Pennsylvania, and I search for it. And now I got the search, I turn my job alert on, and now my alerts are going to be to that new location and not the old location. Most likely that's what's happening in terms of the jobs that you're seeing. If that's not the case, drop me a note. I'll help you work through it. We can get on a Zoom call and I'll help you work through that. So another person had mentioned in there, Alicia said, for LinkedIn, I have two totally separate professions that I work for. Say an office manager or contact, would you recommend to stick with one, or is there a way to add a secondary job? Or is that a different skill set? You can add any positions you want to your profile. When you go in, you click on your name, and you could go in and you can add sections. So like we started here, we just added like work experience, but I can go in and add as much work experience as I want. So if I was an office manager and I do, consulting, or if I do, I'm trying to think of, some of the like Avon or anything like that, like any of those different things that I might be involved in, sales, um, I might moonlight doing something. You can add all those things out here. I would say though, temper that with, what's your audience like? What are you trying to get out of this profile? If it's a business, say that you have side business and that's something that you want to advertise, you it may actually be a benefit for you to do it, because people will find out that you do that, and it might help you find other people that are customers that are looking for your service. So that's something that you could definitely take advantage of. I think I think I would say it depends. Like it's not a hard and fast rule, but I always like putting more information out there than less, because it helps you, come in contact with more people. I'm going to open it up for questions. If you guys have questions, I'm going to also put my contact info up there. So if you want to reach out to me, you could do that. I put this in here too. This is something I usually share with customers, when we talk about like marketing, but there's earned media, paid media, and owned media. So like the media you earn, for businesses is like press releases and things like that. But you can take something from this for yourself in terms of you as personally marketing yourself. If you think about it, like the earned media, you're probably not sending a press release for yourself personally, but maybe you're involved in a charity, and maybe you're doing speaking engagements, or maybe you're doing something in the community, that can build awareness and helps people become aware of what you're capable of. Maybe you write articles. You can go out there, medium.com. It's a great place to write articles and get your words out, as well as on LinkedIn. There's a whole nother section where you could create articles on LinkedIn and publish as well there. So like blogs, like LinkedIn Medium, for questions and answers, like another way you could get out on Reddit and Quora, and you can help other people. Like that was the part I was talking about, giving a little bit of yourself, giving some of your time, giving some of your expertise. You may be awesome at, woodworking or something like that. Like you can help answer other people's questions. Like if someone's out there trying to figure out how to put a deck together, and you've done it 1,000 times, and you can help them do that and save time and money, like that's valuable, and people see value in that. You also, like your social media channels, like if you're out there on social media, like think about, like businesses go out to brand themselves, brand yourself, like make sure you're putting your best foot forward and you're making your image, what you want it to be, what you want other people to see you as. Look at it objectively, ask other people to look at it and give you some feedback about, what they thought when they saw it. If they came off, the street and they didn't know you or have any context about you, what's their thoughts? Would they hire you? um, and like I said, make sure you go Google yourself. Go Google yourself and see what's out there about you, because that helps you, because recruiters are doing it. They do it. On the advertising side, like it's really not something that you would do necessarily, for personal, but I did see someone actually do that. I can't remember if it's Twitter or something. They did an ad and they targeted people that worked at Twitter, and it was really interesting. So here's how to reach me. You can send an email. You can write me through the website. You can get me on Twitter, and I'll be glad to answer your questions. If there's any other questions, definitely put them in the chat. I'm looking at the chat here to see if there's any other ones, as well as I'm going over to check YouTube as well, because I know we're simulcasting on YouTube as well. So if you guys don't get if you think of a question afterwards too, and we didn't get a chance to answer it here, definitely feel free to reach out to me. Be glad to talk to you, help you in any way. If you know people that are looking for a job now because they may have been laid off, like absolutely, if they need help, and there's someone that I can help you connect with, I'll do that. I also put my LinkedIn out there. If you don't have a LinkedIn and you're just getting started and you need someone to be your first LinkedIn contact me, add me, and I will be glad to be your first LinkedIn contact. And if you're looking for something specific and there's someone in my network that I can help make an intro for, I'll definitely do that. So we'll give it another minute for questions, and if there's no other questions, then we'll end the webinar. Thanks again for everyone for jumping in tonight and for checking this out. And if you know someone that could benefit from it, feel free to share it. Feel free to give feedback too. I know we're kind of in a crazy time, so I'm trying to put this together a little quick. So I know we had some technical difficulties at the beginning, but if there's anything that you guys missed or anything that I can help you with, definitely willing to do that. So I don't see any more questions, but thanks a lot everyone for attending. Have a great night, and feel free to reach out.